Much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Betty, for that useful information. I see there are lots of questions in the chat. I think we are going to, as soon as this meeting is finished, we'll download all the questions and answer them during the next training in the new year. So what I'd like to take you through now is something about the business. I'm sure, just a question, how many of you joined this business to make money? By a show of hands on the screen, how many of you joined the business to make money? Okay, I can see Patricia, Beatrice, Mary, the Golden Eagles. How many of you want to make a lot of money from our business? Kissinger from Nakuru, Rachel Ngaira, Faith Ngaira from, I think she's in Nairobi. Lorraine Asira, you'd like to make money. So I want to share with you a few things that Betty and I have learned over the last many years of building this business. I can see my whole screen is lighting up with people who want to make money. So I think we are in good company, the people who really want to make money in this business. I see Oloo from Lagos, Nigeria also wants to make money. So Anne Gao, Jacqueline, Anjala, Josephine, Mariam, Anne Ambani, everybody wants to make money. Tumishabi Dennis wants to make money. So I want to share with you two things about our business. First, if you are new and this is not very clear to you, speak to your sponsor. The first thing I would like to discuss is the main things. Let me just get back to the current. All right. What does our business do? What is it that we do in our business? Our business is we partner with Neolife to move products from Neolife to different users. That is really what we do. How do we do it? The first thing is we use the products ourselves. I suggest to you that you need to use the products if you want to be successful in our business. You will not succeed if you don't use the products, because the people you speak to will find out that you're recommending something you don't believe in and you don't use yourself. So the first thing you need to do in our business is use the products. The next thing you need to do is retail products. Retail products simply means the people who are not in the business become your customers to buy products from you. Okay? How do you retail products? 4 steps, 4 things you need to do on a regular basis. 1, you need product knowledge. You need to understand what the products do. And I think Betty did a fantastic session on some of the products. Number 2, listen to your customers. Listen to the people who are not in the business and want to buy or use your products. Number 3, keep in touch with all these people. Number 4, get to know your customers. If you do this consistently, you start building a customer base. That is, people who are not in the business but want to use our products. The second thing is you need to sponsor people in the business. What does that mean? That you need to introduce people to the business to do the things you do. That is, they use the product, they also have customers. What is the process of doing this? 1, prepare a name list of prospects. Number 2 is prepare and invite them to look at the business. Number 3, learn to tell your story. And number 4, follow up and close them to join the business. This is really the sponsoring process. But you haven't sponsored anybody until you have helped them to sponsor 1 to 2 people. Then you have sponsored somebody in the business. This comes from having a daily method of operation. That means things you do every single day, speaking to people about the products and about the business. Those are the things you need to do on a constant, regular basis. Now, the next thing I want to discuss with you is structure. If you want to be very long-term successful in this business, first, I would recommend to you read the compensation plan so that you understand how we are compensated for the business we build, how the reason why you need to introduce people to the business. All right. Why do you sponsor somebody in the business? You sponsor somebody in the business so that you can help them become a director. That is really why you sponsor people in the business. Some may not want to be directors. Some may just join the business to use the product. That's no problem because people have got different needs in the business. If your goal is to, if the goal of sponsoring is to help the person become a director, it means that the first thing you need to do is to help them generate a name list and work on the name list. Working on the name list means that you go with them to speak to their prospect until they sponsor somebody. All right? That is really why you want to sponsor somebody. So, and what is the goal? There are two things you need to understand about building structure. Number one is building width. Number two is building depth. Building width simply means the people you sponsor directly under you. That is width. Building depth means these people you've sponsored in the business, you help them to sponsor others to grow the business. All right, so how do you build the structure correctly? One, you need to go wide as fast as possible. That means you need to sponsor 2 to 3 people every month until you're 12 to 14 wide. That means the people directly under you should be 12 to 14 wide. Why do you do this? You do this so that you can find 3 to 4 legs to build a taproot. If I may go further, let me explain what a taproot is. If this is you've sponsored 6 people, you've gone 6 wide, and then you need to go deep now. Deep simply means you help each person you've sponsored to sponsor others. And the deeper you go, the more stable the leg is. Go wide until you find 3 legs to work with, and then each leg go 12 deep in these 3 legs. That is what building a taproot is. Building a taproot simply means you pay attention to the people who've joined the business the latest in each leg you are building. That is what the taproot is. If you think about your business as a tree, how do you help the tree to grow? You help the tree to grow by giving it nutrients. Where do you give the nutrients to the tree? In the roots. The tree absorbs nutrients through the deepest part of the roots. Your business is the same. If you want your business to grow, help the newest people in each leg that you're building. Okay, so you've gone 12 to 14 wide. You're going to identify 3 to 4 legs to build a taproot. That means you help those legs to grow. How do you do that? You identify listeners. You know, my experience in the business, not everybody will listen to your advice. If you want to grow a strong business, each leg that you're building, identify listeners. That is, people who will listen to your advice and follow your lead. That means they do what you do. If you're sponsoring, they're sponsoring. If you're building customers, they're building customers. If they're coming to functions, they come to functions. They don't miss training. They ask for books. They ask for advice. Sometimes they send you a query at midnight or sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning. Those are listeners. So pay attention to those people. Why is it important to get listeners? Because listeners learn. Listeners learn and they become duplicators. Duplicators simply means they now begin to do what you do. The goal now is to identify 4 people who are duplicators in each leg you're building. These duplicators will eventually become directors. And if you have a director in each leg, those directors will also build other directors and you'll have a very solid structure. The goal is to have 4 directors in each leg, and that gives you stability. That leg will become 12 QD. What does that mean? It means that leg will qualify 12 months out of 12 as directors. Then you have a strong and stable business. All right? Now, look at this. It's a very simple explanation. You start a business, you sponsor 6 people very quickly, and each of those people you sponsor, you help them sponsor two people, and those 2 sponsor 2, you begin to build depth. As you build depth, the volume in your business begins to rise. Remember, you need to keep sponsoring always until you get leaders who duplicate what you do. Focus on what duplicates. That means focus on the simple things you do every day in the business because it is easier for the people in your team to do. Keep sponsoring always, because remember that when you sponsor somebody and they're very active and they become a director, you can't use their volume to qualify as directors. Okay? So keep sponsoring always, doing the 4 basics: name list, invite, show the plan, follow up. Name list, invite, show the plan, follow up. You keep doing this over and over again until the people in your team begin to copy what you do. That's what duplication is. Then you need to develop the right attitude for building the business and aim at discipline, not motivation. You see, motivation is very temporary. Motivation is like taking a shower every morning. Why? Because you need to do it all the time. Discipline is developing the habit to do it. Okay? That is why it is important to build structure in your business. Structure is what helps your business to qualify at a certain level every single month. All right? Let's go back to the structure. A few things. 1, develop a name list. Number 2, sponsor people, 2 to 3 people every month, and teach them what you do. Eventually, you will go 12 to 14 wide. When you go 12 to 14 wide, you will see that at least you will have 3 to 4 legs to build depth with. So you live in those legs. It means that you pay attention to the people in those legs to help them to become duplicators like you do. If you help those people to be duplicators, eventually they're going to become leaders, eventually they're going to become directors. And somehow, somewhere in one of these legs, in the legs you're building, a Sapphire director will emerge, a Ruby director will emerge. And that's how you grow a strong business that qualifies month in, month out. A perfect demonstration of this is Charlie Bolton. Charlie Bolton qualified as a 5-diamond director in 1991. Since 1991 up to last month, Charlie Bolton has qualified as a 5-diamond director always. Why? Because Charlie is an expert in building structure. In fact, there's a document when we joined the business that our sponsor Hans Cronier gave us called Structure for Diamond. I recommend all leaders get a hold of this document. Read it inside out until you understand the mechanics of building a team that will fill up the convention when you go to convention in August. Structure for Diamond, where you qualify month in, month out at the status that you have reached. Okay? But one of the things that you need to take into account about building structure is learn to make friends in your business. Making friends is making diamondship. You need to have friends in your business. First and foremost, you need to develop yourself, invest in yourself. 3 aspects of investing in yourself. Number 1, your knowledge. Invest in knowledge of your business, about the company, read the policies and procedures, read the compensation plan, understand about our industry, learn about what our business actually is. The second thing you need to do, invest in having the right attitude. What is your reason for doing the business? This comes from reading good books every single day. That is why we call it sharpening the saw. You can't be a good carpenter if your saw is blunt. And sharpening the saw is reading books, listening to good CDs or videos every day. All right? So read books constantly, listen to good CDs or DVDs, keep good company. Why? Because the people you spend time with will influence who you are. Show me your friends, I will show you your future. Have knowledge of the products, have knowledge of the compensation plan. Then keep your eye on the future. You see, I think some of the reasons why people give up in the business is they keep replaying their past mistakes. You need to start building a vision for the future and play that vision in your mind, because you need to look at where you're going to, not what you're going through. And that's very important, to keep a positive attitude that helps you grow your business. Keep your eyes on the future, all right? And maintain daily discipline. Daily discipline simply means that every single day you've got a series of things you plan to do and you do them, whether you feel like doing them or not. Don't pay attention to how you are feeling. Pay attention to your vision and what you need to do to get that vision to become a reality. All right? And then invest in your health. Invest in products so that you can become healthy. I mean, when you become a 3, 4, 5 ruby, 1 diamond director, you're earning $10,000 a month. You want to enjoy that money. You will enjoy that money if you've got good health. So pay attention to what you eat. Pay attention to your sleeping habits. Have a simple exercise program every single day. And something else I want to mention about reading. You need to structure your reading at specific times of the day that you read. If you don't allocate specific time to read, it won't happen. Make sure you allocate time that every day, 7 o'clock in the morning, every day at 7 in the evening, every day at 1:30. Have a specific time that you block to read. It will not happen automatically. It requires you to block time to read about the business, about yourself, about the products, about how to become a successful human being. So invest in yourself. Something else I want to mention about time management. I personally think it's a misnomer to say time management, because you can't manage time. 24 hours passes whether you like it or not. What you manage is your activity. What you manage is your schedule. That is what you manage. You can't manage time. You can compress activities in a short space of time, but you can't manage time. What you need to manage is your activity. Manage your schedule, have a diary, plan things ahead, and make sure you do what you plan to do. That is what I would call using your time effectively. All right. So, two things that I've been discussing with you. First, build a structure. Building structure gives you confidence and makes sure that you build your business correctly. When you go to sleep, you don't worry about how your business is done. In fact, I want to, the person who, I have checked a number of people in your team, and the person who has done building structure very well the last 12 months in our business is Grace Chege. Grace and Caesar. I checked Grace and Caesar's structure. Grace Chege and Caesar have qualified as 2 Ruby directors every single month for the last 12 months. That's what you mean by building the structure correctly. So, Grace Chege, if you're listening to me, I think you've set a very good example for our team in East Africa for building the structure correctly, because I checked, in fact, this afternoon when I was preparing this session, I checked Grace Chege's structure. December last year, 5 legs qualified as director. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, they've qualified as 2 Ruby directors, 4 legs, over 30,000 PV. That is the person who understands what structure is. Okay? So, Grace, congratulations. So, I urge all of you, I'm going to send the document called Structure for Diamond to your leaders. If you are attending this session today, go to your upline leader, either director or world team member, ask them for this document. It's called Structure for Diamond. That document was written when we were starting the business. I promise you, nothing has changed. If you want a successful business, pay attention to that document, read it many times, master the contents of that, put it into practice, and you will see you will qualify at your status every single month, and you will be very happy that you've mastered what it means to build structure correctly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for attending this session with us. Betty and I are really appreciative of you attending meetings, putting your time aside to learn something about the business. And we suggest this year ends, look back at the goals you have set. Don't whip yourself because you've not achieved the goals you set for yourself. What you need to do is get up, brush yourself, set new goals for the new year, learn new things, and make 2024 the best year you've ever built in Neolife. And Betty and I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We thank you very much for what you do for the Neolife business. And the people who host our training, Alan and Cynthia, we really appreciate what you do for us. Thank you and good night.